I remember waiting outside of the Viva room just before I went in. My best friend was with me, and the internal walked past me towards the room and said, "Okay, I think we're ready to go. Are you ready?" And I can remember it very clearly, more than I can some bits of the Viva actually, because it felt like, you know, are you ready? It was the big question. And that was it, and I was really quite petrified, because previously there had been a few doubts that my supervisor had raised as to whether my thesis would get through first time with minor corrections. So I was quite worried about that. But when I went into the room and sat down, and luckily the way they'd arranged the tables, they weren't all sat in front of me, so they were sat sort of along the sides and around the table. So that was quite nice, because it didn't feel too oppressive. It felt quite relaxed, or as relaxed as you can be at the start of a Viva. And they smiled, and I sat down, and I was very thankful for the fact that they started the Viva by saying that they were very pleased with my thesis, and that they thought it would make a great contribution to the field. So they didn't tell me that I'd passed straight out, but they gave me a good inclination that I could possibly expect that by the end, unless I made massive errors in the actual content of the Viva. So that was nice. Well, the Viva lasted about an hour and a quarter, which was I actually was quite surprised by that, because I thought, given the fact that I had an additional examiner in the room, there would be an extra set of questions added onto the Viva process, and it might elongate my Viva. So I was quite pleasantly surprised that it was only an hour and a quarter. Although I did begin to enjoy it actually, because they were so positive about my work, and along the process I'd had times where things had been quite challenging for my supervisor, and sometimes he hadn't been as positive about my work as maybe I would have liked him to be. So it was really a really positive and enthusiastic Viva, and I got a lot out of it personally, because it was really nice to have people asking me questions about my work and being so enthusiastic about it, and also saying things like, this should be going into a paper, and I'm writing a paper on this, and would you contribute? And it was really refreshing and lovely. So I actually probably could have talked more than the hour and a quarter that we had, because I had more discussions that I had in me that I didn't expect. I'd been so worried about it beforehand, and people had said, try and enjoy it, because it's the only time you're going to get to talk about your research. And you hear it and you just think, oh shush, you don't understand what you're talking about, I'm really nervous. Actually, when you get in there, you realise that they were right. Because examiners, on the whole, are not trying to trip you up, they just want to learn more about your research. It's a perfect opportunity, and one of the only opportunities you'll get to do that.